Okay. Good morning, one and all. Welcome to Sumka Infotech. So this is our 20th day of our internship. Okay. So in our previous class, we worked on prediction with respect to live image, where we used to do face recognition for the image which is captured using webcam. Okay. As a part of internship, we are doing this project called face recognition based attendance system. To implement this project, so far we have done data collection, then we have worked with feature extraction and training. Then after training the model, we are done with prediction also. Now it is required to store the predicted person details into a table. I mean the details such as name of the person, date, time, everything must be stored into a database in the form of record. Okay, so that the concerned authorities can get to know or fetch the details of the person who entered the classroom, or if you are doing this project for company, so that you can get to know the details of the employees who have been logged into our office area. Okay, so the let me execute my previous class. Okay, program. This is what we did in our previous class. Prediction for live image. Okay, fine. It is recognizing my name. Now what I want is I want to store my name KB Raj to be stored in a table as a record along with the date and time. This is what we're supposed to implement. Okay. So what is database? What is server? We will explore all these things, no problem. To implement this portion, we need two softwares. Let me show you. Okay, yeah, I will use WAMP. Okay, those who are learning for the first time, WAMP is a package. By installing WAMP, we can get the things like Apache web server, MySQL database, and PHP scripting. Before installing this WAMP, we need this additional utility to be installed so that it keeps WAMP active. So I will share the link of these softwares in the description of the video. Please download it and install. First, you need to install this vcredit distributable underscore x86.exe. This is a software which helps to install the required DLL files. After installing this, you can install this WAMP server. And if you want, you can install VS Code. Those who have already installed VS Code for Python, you need not to install. Okay, done. You need to install this and then this. Okay. Once you are done with installation, just go to search. Here you type WAMP. You get the option Start WAMP Server. When you get this window, just give S. Yeah, in the taskbar, you should be able to see a green icon. Right now it is red. Okay, it takes some time and turns into green. Yeah, now you can see it has got turned to green. If it is green, what does it mean? Everything is fine. You are ready to go with this software. Fine. So let me give a brief introduction of WAMP, why we are using WAMP. Okay. See, in our project, after recognizing the face of a student or any other person, we need to store the details into a database for later analysis. Therefore, to store some information permanently and retrieve as per our business logic, it must be stored in a database in the form of records by means of a table. Therefore, we need one web server, that is Apache web server. We need Apache web server, and we need server-side scripting language, that is PHP, and we need MySQL as a database. Since now we are working with web application, when you are attempting to develop any web application, you need to have the knowledge of what is your database, what is your backend, and what is your front end. Okay, so in this project, to store information permanently, we are using MySQL database. A client can't interact with database directly. He needs some mediator. That mediator is nothing but this Apache web server. To write your scripts at the server, you need one scripting language. We are using PHP as our scripting language. The reason for choosing this stack is it is beginner friendly, easy to understand. That's why. Fine. Now, to test your to begin with PHP, let us begin with some simple scripts. Okay. After launching your WAMP, Okay, click on it. You get to see this pop-up menu. Here we have options like localhost, PHP, myadmin, www directory. Let us select www directory. Technically, we call it as root directory. Okay, you are supposed to put all your PHP related programs into this folder. Okay, yeah, here I have so many project folders. Okay, when you install for the first time, you get to see only 2 files. You will not be able to see these many folders. Okay, fine. Let me create my folder here. I will create one folder with name. Let me give some name. Attendance, it is already there. ATTEND project, attendance project. Fine. So attendance project is my folder where I will keep all my PHP files. Okay. Let me open this folder in VS Code. Here is the option open with VS Code. For some operating system, you may get to see show more options. There you will find open with code option. Okay, make sure which option works for you. I will select this. Yeah. So my folder with name attendance project is being opened in the VS Code. Let me close this welcome window. It is no longer needed. Okay. So here I will create my file. This time I will give the name. You can give any name to your file. Let it be demo and extension must be PHP. Okay. Since I am working with PHP files, PHP programming, I have given the extension .php. Okay. So we have a rule which says if you want to write PHP scripts, you need to begin with this tag. The beginning tag is this one, open tag, less than question mark PHP is the open tag, question mark greater than is the closing tag. So you need to put all your PHP statements within this tags only. Okay, like any other programming language, here also we have an output statement called echo. Okay, let me show echo, and here every statement ends with semicolon. Fine. So let me display one statement here. Welcome to PHP is the statement I want to print. So my simple program, my first PHP program to display one welcome message. Welcome to PHP. Now let me show you how to execute this program. Since we are working with server, you need a browser to send request to your server. Therefore, let me go to my Google Chrome. I will open one new tab. Here I would write localhost. What does it mean? I am invoking my locally hosted server. Okay, press enter. So you would get this option, that is WAMP server homepage. Here you have an option called your projects. Okay, in this section you should be able to see your folder. Here is my folder attendance project. Let me tap on it. So here is my file demo.php. Let me click on it. Yeah, so here is my output. Welcome to PHP. Since we are working with server, all information will be displayed on the browser. Browser can understand concept called tags, T-A-G-S, tags. We can integrate tags also here. Let me show you how to increase the size of this statement. So we have an HTML tag called h1. Let me put h1 here. h1 open, h1 close. Okay. Now let me refresh my page. Yes, the size of the statement got increased since I used h1 tag. Even if you have the basic knowledge of HTML, you can integrate all your tags in echo statement. If you are not aware of what is an HTML, how to use HTML, basics of HTML, we have a best website called W3 Schools. There you can explore information about HTML. Yeah, here is the HTML tutorial. Okay, here you can learn HTML. Okay, the basics which are required to implement the project I will explain. If you want to dig deep into HTML, you can explore this website. Here all information is presented nicely for beginners. Okay, so this is my first PHP program which displays welcome to PHP. So let me introduce one more tag here. To scroll the message, we have a tag called mark you tag. Let me integrate this tag here. Right now I am using two tags. Fine. Let me refresh it. Here you can see my text will be scrolled because of marquee tag. Right now we have used two tags, h1 and marquee. Fine. This is a simple PHP program to display a statement with some HTML tags. But when it comes to project, you need to have the knowledge of what is a database, what is a table, how to create a table, how to assign data types to columns. This is very much essential. Therefore, let me introduce you to a tool called PHP MyAdmin. Yeah, the second option from the menu, PHP MyAdmin. Let us select this. So using this utility, you can manage your database. Like you can create your own database, you can create your table, you can see how many records are there. So everything can be done. Fine. So when you launch PHP MyAdmin for the first time, it will ask for username and password. So default username is root, ROOT. This root user has no password, therefore password must be left empty, and click on go. Yeah, so here is my dashboard. Here I need to create one database. Let me click on databases. You can choose any database, it must be unique. Okay, let me give attendance project. My folder name earlier was attendance project. This time my database name is also attendance project. Let me click on create. So this will create. Here you can see attendance project database got created. What is database? It is an entity where we can have any number of tables. What is table? It is a basic storage unit where we can store all information in the form of records in a table. Okay. See, when you select attendance project, here you can see the message no tables found in the database. Yeah, that is true. We don't have any table. That's why. Let me create one table here. What is table? It is an entity in database DBMS where with which you can store information in the form of fields, in the form of records. The best example is the register book which our faculties brings to classroom to take our attendance. Okay, that register book is the best example of a table where it will be having multiple columns like student name, day, whether the student is present or absent. See, that is the best example of a table. The register book used by our faculties to keep track of our attendance details. Okay. Similarly, we are creating one table here. So before creating table, you should have the knowledge of what should be the name of the table and how many columns it should have and what is the name and data type of each column. Okay. Since we are planning to store the attendance details, we need columns like student name, then date, time. These are all essential, and we need one more column to assign unique numbers to each record. Let us call it as ID. So I need four columns: ID, name, date, time. Therefore, I will give the table name as students, and I will give 4 as the columns, number of columns required. And let me click on go. Yes, here you need to give column name. The first column name is ID. Okay, and the data type is integer. Since I want to have unique values in this, let me select unique in place of index, and also I will enable AI, which stands for auto increment. Okay, the second column will be name. Here I will store student name, which should be string. That's why the data type is varchar. In DBMS language, strings will be treated as varchar. And you need to mention the size. 50 will be the maximum size. It means you can save maximum 50 characters in this field. Okay. A date, attendance date, let it be date, and a time, attendance time, let it be time. Yeah. So these are the attributes of my table. The name of the table is students. Columns are ID, name, a date, and a time. Fine. So let me click on save. This should create one table. Here you can see the table got created with name students. Yes. By clicking on structures, you get to know how a table looks like. So ID, name, a date, and a time. Right now it is empty. That's why when you click on browse, it shows nothing. right now it has no records, that's why. So we are done with creating a database, creating a table. Okay, now you need to write one PHP program to store record into a table. Now our topic of discussion is how to store. Yeah, we need to learn. Our topic of discussion is how to connect PHP with MySQL and how to invoke or how to execute SQL from PHP into MySQL. These are very important things which are required to implement this project. So let me write one more file here. I will create one file. Let the name of the file be savestudent.php. This is the name of the file. As the name indicates, the purpose of this file is to save student details into table as a record. Okay. So as I said before, you need to begin with this open tag and this closing tag. Okay. Now, okay. So we have a predefined function called MySQLi underscore connect. By calling that function, you can connect your PHP with MySQL. Therefore, on RFS side, let me call the function MySQLi underscore connect. This is my function. Okay. What it does, it tries to connect with your database and returns the reference of that connection. Therefore, you need one variable on LHS side. In PHP, all variables preceded with character $. Therefore, I will use $connection. What does it mean? $connection is a variable or object to which the connection information will be stored. Okay. So, MySQLi underscore connect. While calling this function, you need to pass 4 arguments. The first argument represents the host string. It means where your server and database are present. It is in my local system only. Therefore, I will give localhost as the host string. Then what is the username? As I said before, root is the user, and this user has no password. That's why the third parameter is about password. Let it be empty. Just I have mentioned 2 single quotes, in between nothing. And name of the database. Our database name is attendance project. Attendance project. So this is my database name. Let me check once again. What's my database name? Yeah, it is perfect. Attendance project. Let me repeat once again. We are trying to connect PHP with MySQL. Therefore, we are using this function MySQLi underscore connect. It takes 4 arguments. The first argument is host string, localhost, username, root, password, no password, and name of the database, attendance project. And the result of this function will be stored in a variable called $connection. Here you need to remember 2 things. If connection is successful, what will be the value of $connection? If unsuccessful, what will be the value of $connection? Let me clarify this. If connection is unsuccessful, it will be having the boolean value false. If connection is successful, it will be having the reference of an object. Therefore, I will write one if statement to confirm whether connection is successful or not. Okay, I will write like this. If not $connection, I am writing the negative condition. What does it mean? If connection is unsuccessful, if not connected, if something is wrong. Okay, if something is wrong, I need to terminate my program. Therefore, I will call the statement die. In PHP, we have a die statement which terminates the program. And also I want to display the reason for failed connection. Therefore, I will call the function MySQLi underscore connect underscore error. Okay, so let me clarify this. Here, I am trying to connect my PHP with MySQL. If everything is fine, then okay, no problem. If connection is unsuccessful, I will terminate my program and also display the reason for failed connection. Okay. If condition false means everything is fine. PHP got connected with MySQL. Therefore, let me now the step 1 is clear, that is the connection is successful. Now Let me write the query. If you want to do transaction with your table, you need to write SQL statement, structured query language. Okay, let me type my query here. I want to insert the record. Therefore, I will write like this. Insert into, my table name is students. Okay, values. See here, you might have observed that the first column ID is auto increment. What does it mean? You are not supposed to input value for that column explicitly. It get incremented automatically. Only other three columns value you need to feed. Therefore, since you are skipping one column and passing values for remaining three columns, in such a case, you need to mention the column names here. Therefore, my column names will be name is the first column, a date will be my second column, a time will be my third column. Okay, for the name, let me pass one value. Let it be Arun is the student name. Date, let us fetch the date automatically for system date. Therefore, I will call the function current date, and time also current time. Okay, so what does it mean? I am writing one query to insert record into a table, and the student name is Arun. Just for example, I have taken the date and time on which his face got recognized in front of camera will be selected automatically from the system. That's why I have used current date and current time. This is my query. To execute this query, you need to make use of this object, that is connection object. How to do that? Let me show you. $result is equal to $connection is object. To fetch member function of this object, you need to use arrow operator, and let me call the function query. This will execute query in the database, and you need to pass your $SQL as your argument. So let me explain once again. This is my object which has connection details. Query is the function which is part of this object. To fetch this, I am using arrow operator and passing my SQL to be executed as argument. What it does, it tries to execute this query on the database and returns the result into $result. Again, we have two possibilities. Either the transaction is successful or failed. So let me check it out. How? If not $result. If transaction has failed, again I will stop the program by calling die. This time I want to display the reason for failed transaction. MySQLi underscore error, and the mediator being used is $connection. So this line is meant for executing the query at the database. If unsuccessful, die terminates. MySQLi underscore error $connection will display the reason for failed transaction. If this condition is false, everything is fine, no issues. Therefore, I will display one echo statement, and I would display the message as record got saved successfully. Okay, so let me execute this code. Whether it works or not, let me check it out. How to execute this? Very simple. Go to your browser, write localhost. This will launch the home page. Here is your folder, and the file you have written is save student. Is it not? Let me click on it. Yes, we got the message saying record got saved successfully. Let me check it out whether the record is part of the table or not. How to do that? Go to PHP MyAdmin. Here is your database. Here is your table. Click on it. Yeah, here you can see ID name automatically incremented. The name of the student is Arun. The date and time are fetched automatically. Let me execute with another name. Let me modify the code here. Instead of Arun, let me change to Kiran. Let me change it to Kiran. Fine. Let me refresh this page. So what it does, it inserts another student details into table. Yeah, it got executed. Let me check it out. Browse. Yeah, here you can see ID got incremented, and this time the student name is Kiran, and these are the date and time which are fetched automatically. So we are done with how to connect PHP with MySQL, how to insert the record into table using PHP code. Okay, so this is the first part. Now, why I am doing all these things? In the coming sessions, I will store the name of the person whose face got recognized in front of the camera. Soon after recognizing the face, I will send request to this PHP and I will pass the name of the student as parameter, and this will take care to insert all the information into a table. And we need to write one API to interact between Python and PHP. In the next session, I will show you how to write API and how to invoke PHP scripts from Python. For this session, you learn how to install WAMP, how to create a table, how to write PHP scripts to establish connection between PHP and MySQL, and how to insert a record. This is very important. You learn this much for this session. In the next session, I will show you how to write API and how to invoke API from Python. Okay. If you are not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe, like, share this video, and if you have any query, please put it in the comment section. And thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day.